Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Florida Hockey Now Morning Skate here.
Club 954.
What?
It's the only way we get in. You get in here, George.
That is. This is a fancy. This is the fancy Club Red here. Here, let's get that light out of our face here, Goldie.
Okay.
There we go. We're not live today. We're not live today. We were having some internet issues the other day, so this is on Memorex. I'm George Richards. This is Steve Goldstein from Bally Sports Florida, CBS 4, and anywhere else you get your hockey content from, because Goldie is busier now than he was with the games. I mean, Goldie, you're everywhere, bud.
Yeah, well, I'm doing this with you this morning, which is obviously the highlight. But yeah, great, honestly, great local coverage in the market. I mean, CBS 4 is every single day, so we'll have a story today at 5 o'clock. You don't want to miss that. You know, the kid with the muscles, got to interview him. Yeah.
The kid that does, I don't know what he does.
He does the...
the muscles. He kisses the muscles.
And we'll get coverage on NHL Network tonight and on The Rally, which is always on Bally Sports as well, the new show. So.
The Rally, yeah. That's, what, 6 o'clock, The Rally on Bally Sports Sports? It's across the country, correct?
Yeah, I think it's whatever time before your local game.
Okay.
So if the game starts like at 7:30 and let's say the St. Louis Cardinals, I believe it would start at 6. Or if the game's at 6:30, it would start at 5. So I think that's the way it works, yeah.
So there you go. So check out Goldie anywhere you get hockey. He's all over the world. And I'm here at FloridaHockeyNow.com and on YouTube. So it's all good with me. Goldie, real quick. Panthers are behind us. They're doing their morning skate. Carter Verhaeghe not on the ice. They've got Maxim Mammon, I think, just filling in on the top line. We'll learn more later. Check us at FloridaHockeyNow.com. But I think Verhaeghe plays. I mean, he was... game time decision the other night, and obviously had a big game in Game 6.
Yeah, the interesting thing is it was a very optional skate yesterday. Now, I didn't really check it out on the ice, but I'm guessing Carter Verhaeghe didn't skate, but he was here yesterday and did meet with the media.
Right.
So if there was something wrong there, you figure he's not going to be a guy.
He would not have met with us.
Right. So we'll see later tonight how it goes. Perhaps it's the same as you mentioned with the Game 6 in Washington, where he didn't skate in the morning skate, but obviously we'll find out a little bit more from Coach Andrew Burnett.
Yep, and Andrew Burnett, speaking of him, today, Thursday, it's Game 2, but it's also the Jack Adams Award. The 3 finalists are named for the Jack Adams Coach of the Year. No surprise, Andrew Burnett, one of the 3 finalists. What a job he's done coming in here. Obviously, the Panthers were 7-0 when the change was made. How good a job did Andrew Burnett do stepping in the situation they were put in?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll be honest. The broadcasters, that's the one we vote for, Jack Adams. So Bruno was in my top 3. Who were the other 2? Did you?
I don't remember.
Okay, so I think I voted for Dean Evison of the Wild.
Sure, I bet he's in there.
And I forget my other vote. I should actually remember this. It might have been Mike Sullivan, who honestly, I mean, the job that guy did this year.
Right.
Because I know those 2 teams are out of it, so it doesn't look good right now.
Right.
For Bruno, number 1 walks into, I mean, we all know the situation. We don't need to rehash that. Number 2, it was the guy that brought him in. It wasn't a situation where, the assistant wasn't, friendly or close with the head coach. I mean, Joel Quenneville brought Andrew Burnett to Florida.
Right.
Number 3, we need to remember this. Although Bruno played 1,130 games in the NHL, was assistant GM, player personnel, assistant coach, all that, he had never been a head coach before.
Right. At any level.
At any level. And you have the team with the expectations. Then you go, what was it, a week later, George, or 2 weeks later, you lose Barkov for 6 weeks.
Right. That's when it kind of hit their valley. The few valleys this team has hit.
Yeah, so...
was without Barkov.
So,
and Duclair was out.
Duclair was... So I really do look at it as just an amazing job keeping things on the rails. Number 2, talking to the players, and you talk to them as well. Andrew Burnett has never changed who he is.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Sometimes you get the job and authority. You feel like you got to be different. Maybe you got to be a little tough. He never changed his personality. A lot of respect. Understands the players very well. We always hear him talk about it. I think pretty calm behind that bench through adversity. I think that's helping some of those comeback wins where the coach isn't going nuts and he's not calling timeouts and ripping guys. So I really think he's done a terrific job.
Yeah, there's a story at FloridaHockeyNow.com. Talked to Eddie O from TNT, long time NHL analyst, worked with the Chicago Blackhawks for a long, long time. Nobody knows Joel Quenneville as good as Eddie O does. And he was like, listen, Burnett was the perfect guy to hand these keys to because of how close he is to Joel Quenneville, the system he played for Joel. There really wasn't, other than having Coach Q behind the bench, things stayed the same. Yeah,
and I give credit as well because when that happened, those 24, 48 hours, I give credit to the Panthers, organization.
Sure,
Vinny Viola, Bill Zito, because, they could have jumped and called John Tortorella.
Panic.
Call David Quinn, who had coached the
right.
Get a guy that had coached before and said, hey, we need you down here. Instead,
David Quinn was the guy who was like, he's right there. Right. And he's been here. He was
yes, he has. I think for Team USA.
Right. He was here a lot in training camp.
Yeah, so they could have done that and said, hey, we need an experienced guy to replace an experienced guy, you know, the second winningest coach ever. And they didn't do that. They said, hey, you know what, we think this will work. Let's see how it goes. And obviously, it's gone very well. And I know, you know, from the staff standpoint, Andrew Brunette, they got great relationship, you know, with Derek McKenzie and Tallis and all the guys on that staff. And it really is a collaborative effort. You know, Bruno's got no ego. And when you have no ego, you allow other people to do their job and continue to do their job.
Yeah. And looking ahead here, game 2 tonight, Florida Panthers down 1-0 in this best-of-7 series. What are you expecting? We saw the Panthers down 0-1 to Washington and bounce back. It took them a little bit in that game, too, but they started to roll. What are you expecting tonight against the Lightning, a team that Washington may have just been happy to take one and go home? Tampa Bay is not that team.
Well, I think you got to run the picket fence and give it to Jimmy. That's what I think. And if you don't know what we're talking about, you don't deserve to know. Okay. Anyway, go look up the movie, Hoosiers. You know, I think the Panthers win this game. I think they're the more desperate team. I thought last game they were so cognizant of not going over the line emotionally and physically that they went under the line. And it was underwhelming. And
then they made dumb penalties anyway. So what did it matter?
Anyway. It's like those, you know, final preseason games in the NFL where you don't want to get anybody hurt, and then a guy goes in and plays, and he gets hurt because he's trying not to get hurt.
Right. If you don't go 100%, you're...
And again, you know, George, it's 7 games into these playoffs, and nobody wants to hear it, but you know, again, these are learning experiences for this team. Most of the big guys on this team have not been through this. So they were trying so hard to not go over the line. I thought in a lot of ways they went under the line.
Yeah.
And they kind of got lulled in, you know, Tampa going 11 forwards and 7D, weren't really pushing that hard offensively. Remember, the Panthers got a 1-0 lead with 25 minutes left in this game. I mean, they were okay in that situation. Vasilevsky was keeping them from going up 2-0. But
Vasilevsky, terrific again.
Yeah, otherwise it's a 2-0 game and it might be over. So it's not like start to finish they had a bad effort. Second period, they were coming pretty hard. So they got to, you know, I think pick up that emotional level. You know, now they realize, you know, first game against Tampa in the playoffs since last year, different than Washington, and feel their way through it. But obviously tonight is as close to a must-win because you look over on the other side, what you said about the Lightning. If you lose tonight, same as last year, you got to beat them 4 out of 5. And I'm going to say that's going to be...
3 in Tampa.
Yeah. All they got to do is win 2 home games. Right. And that's what happened last year. They won the 2 home games.
Right. Yeah, so, you know, tough situation for the Florida Panthers. If they lose tonight, they're chasing the series a little bit, but there still is a lot of hockey left. I see the Panthers winning this game and the next one, going up 2-1 in this series. Then we'll see what happens in Game 4. If that's the case, do the Panthers have that killer mentality? Yeah. That's obviously getting ahead of us. We'll talk about that in Tampa on Monday. But no changes to the lineup, doesn't look like, unless Carter Verhaeghe does not play. Sounds like he's going to be a game-time decision. We'll see. Goldie, tell the people where they can find all your work. I mean, this could be a while. We're at 8:19. That could be 3 minutes worth.
Well, today, right at 4:05, we'll be on DEA Radio over in Tampa.
Okay.
So I'll try to stir it up with those guys.
WDAE, Florida Talk.
I forget the guy that played for the Buccaneers. He's one of the hosts. I forget who it is.
Warren Sapp?
No, it's not Sapp.
Is he dipping into a...
It's not Sapp.
Did you ever interview Warren Sapp? Hold on.
I did at the old Orange Bowl a few times.
Okay, not at the Orange. Okay.
Very uncolorful comments, let me tell you after.
When Warren Sapp would play for the Buccaneers, he would do his press, and he would sit in his stall with a towel.
Yep.
In front of him, and he would dip into the towel while the reporters are around him. So your feet would be like, anyway.
But let me
Warren
tell you,
Sapp.
My experience in the Orange Bowl with him was, let's just say, there was no towel. And that's what made it a little interesting. So anyway,
he was a minimalist.
Yeah, they're a good way to put it. So we'll have the radio over in Tampa at 4:05, and at 5 o'clock NHL Network, around 5:15, 5:20, CBS 4, CBS Miami, special story on the kid with the muscles.
Muscle guy.
And Steve, the woo guy, the Ric Flair lookalike. Interviewed both of them, so we'll have some fun with fans.
Ask him about the U.S. Open.
I should ask. That's right. That's right. And then
I would ask him if he feels like he looks more like Greg Norman.
Right, the Shark. The Shark. I should have asked him that.
See, he already did it. Yeah.
I'm not a journalist like this guy.
I don't want to anger people. That angers people. When I say that, you know, I say he looks more like Greg Norman than Ric Flair. People get,
well, it ruins the fans.
What are you talking about?
Plus, you're wrong. He looks more like Ric Flair.
Does he?
Yeah. 5:45 will be on the rally on Bally Sports Florida, 6:54 DirecTV, wherever you find Bally Sports. So, and then, of course, the big thing is after every game now, since we're not doing the games, we've got the full post-game show. I'll have the interviews. That's following the end of the playoff game on Bally Sports.
All right, so check Goldie out in all those different venues, but especially post-game on Bally Sports Florida with Randy Moeller and Jessica Blaylock. Anyway, we're done here. I'm George Richards, Florida Hockey Now. Come visit us there, FloridaHockeyNow.com. Don't forget, hit subscribe here on the YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter, @GeorgeRichards. Goldie is Goldie, @Goldie on Ice on Twitter. Follow us both there if you would. That'll do us from here. We'll see you post-game. Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning, Game 2. Coming up next from Sunrise. We'll see you all later. Bye-bye.